So I'm not really the one to have dreams when I fall asleep. Usually I just kind of time travel whenever my brain turns off. I disappear at one point and appear at another. But in my life, I usually have like these spurts of time where I have dreams, and they are either A, the most mundane and irrelevant tasks of life that are just like I could have done that in real life. Two, completely incomprehensible and just doesn't make any sense in any capacity. Or three, just like absolute horror and just terrible things happen to me where I almost 100% of the time end up dead. And so yesterday I was kind of reminded of a note page that I have on my phone of dreams that I've had in the past, like in like around 2022, 2023. And the reason why I was reminded of this page or this notes page being a thing is because 2 nights ago I had a dream, and the entire concept of that dream was that I was going bald. Nothing else. That was the entire plot. Nothing like crazy or nothing insane. I just remember looking in the mirror and like, huh, I'm going bald, and that was it. And so I was looking back at this notes page that I have, and I kind of just like feel like I need to read off what my kind of delirious self who just woke up wrote down on these notes in my phone. And so there's some of them are just kind of interesting, and some of them are entirely boring. And it's going to prove my point that I let off with, where they're either really interesting, really make no sense, like and crazy and like ridiculous, really boring, or just absolutely like I'm dying in the dream. So the first one is getting chased by a monster through a bunch of liminal spaces. Final one is an infinite labyrinth of stairs with glass railings and metal bars on top. Ends when I get caught. I'm assuming I was stressed during that time. I felt like something was chasing me. I'm pretty sure that's what it usually means when you dream you're getting chased, is that you're getting stressed, or like you feel like an impending deadline is coming up. And so that's one dream that's kind of crazy, but also I do end up dying, so that's probably one of the bad dreams. And the next one is find a way to go back and forth between heaven, afterlife. Arrive in giant marble room with clouds enthroned. Turn around to see floors with doors on them above me. Guy comes out of one that sounds like a party is inside, claims to be God, and looks like a 23-year-old dude. Go back to real world and ends. Maybe I told other people about it. I don't know. Okay. Don't really know what that dream means, but I don't know why I imagined in my dream God himself being a 23-year-old dude at a party. But that's kind of what that was. And the next one is all I can remember is that I was standing in a circle with a group of people. That's that dream that happened. That's that dream. So three very different dreams. I kind of covered all the categories I was talking about. Just absolute horror, nonsense, and then mundane task. Following up, we got on an island, maybe just in an area by the beach, and zombies are there with the members of the Call of Duty Zombies franchise and one random lady there. My gun is a 3-round burst, and lady gives Takeo a katana that explodes zombies. Rick Toffin eventually gets suspicious that all three of the members are there to stop him from getting a pod type thing. He's the only one that is his older version. Random lady gets bit and has to be killed. That's the end of that dream, apparently. I guess I didn't remember what else happened or if there was a climax, but there you go. Started off in a school cafeteria with some people I think I know, and someone was also getting ice cream behind the counter. In a house at night, and I have to fight off two puppet type things. One is a duck, and another one is a small bear. I have a knife and a shotgun, and while I injure them, they would bleed very realistic claymation, and also would come back fully healed over and over until it seemed at one point like they finally were both gone. I don't know how the storyline of this dream went out, but that's kind of, I guess I was afraid of a duck and a small bear attacking me. I don't know why the blood was claymation or anything, and like what happened there, but yep. And I'm kind of realizing that if anyone is a dream analyzer, dream analysis person, please tell me what any of these mean. Another one is what looks like to be a band concert, and I'm sitting at the end seat with a flute, saxophone, and clarinet at my feet. And our band plays one song, but the issue is I don't know how to play those instruments, so I'm trying to find the place in the song while figuring out how to play the saxophone. And like the only thing I could think this could possibly be a callback to my life was when I was in like 5th and 6th grade when I played the snare drum for my school band. So I don't know why the other instruments were there, but there you go. I had a dream where I was playing hockey in what I think was the NHL, and then I ended up scoring a goal, but people acted like it didn't count. And it quickly shifted to where I was playing soccer in the MLS, and then I ended up scoring the game-winning goal, and I remember one teammate specifically congratulating me. After the game, I commented how I scored a goal in the NHL and MLS within the same week. I've never played hockey or soccer in my entire life, like in an organized way, so I do not know why I was dreaming myself in either of these two games, these two sports. I mean, I guess if this was like in 2023, then the World Cup was on, so maybe that's why. And then for the NHL, I have legitimately no idea what that was being dreamed. And I realize like now this is kind of coming off as just like a Reddit story reading, but I feel like it's just The absolute insanity in my brain is something that we need to, discover. I had a dream where I was in New York and then for some reason was climbing up a really tall building with other people towards the night. And at the top there was a really cool scene with storm clouds coming in and also fireworks going off. And after that, I'm pretty sure I did something else, but I can't remember right now. I was in this house that was sort of a square, and around it was a very bit mountainous sort of area, and it was a bit of a college party going on, but I felt like I needed to avoid it at all costs. And there was a secret room with people who were also hiding, and they put a spell on the room which hid it and made it seem like it was in Siberia. Also, it did a tremor fruit from One Piece for some reason. Another part was where I was with my mom and grandma in the middle of the house of nowhere, and we were just doing nothing really, and I don't know why I dreamt this. Don't know why that one is a thing. And by the way, I'm only like halfway through the document, but I know there's like some really long ones. Had a dream where I was on a zombies map with a couple other people in it, and it seems like we were trying to do the Easter egg, which involved grappling on top of something and cooking something, and then a warden type guy who looked like Mordecai there shows up, but he's green, and that's all I remember. And then this one's pretty long. I had a dream where I was at a school that looked vaguely familiar, and then someone asked me to interview for something I didn't know about, and a girl ended up telling me it was because I was a vampire, but that made no sense to me because I had no idea where that came from, and she thought that was weird. I asked why I could still go out in the sun and didn't need to suck blood, and she just said that's not how it works anymore. I then met up with two other people who I guess had been talking about this stuff since 2016. I saw emails between them, and we went through a secret door and traveled to a place that I didn't know. We then ended up on a roof where the first girl got into a fight with the other girl, and her face turned all vampire-y. And then they ended up calling these massive things in the sky, maybe like 1,000 feet wide/long. Where one was a giant snake, and the other one was a giant claw, but nothing really came of that. Then when we traveled back, we used something where a bird would go on our shoulder, and we would teleport back to the school where it originally started. I remember I ended up being very confused, and I also never really learned about what being a vampire actually meant. Oh, here's a fun one. Had a dream where I was talking about if you hear repetitive honking, then you should run and hide. There was also a bunch of puppets that I think were meant to be from that Welcome Home ARG that were able to move. I then saw a couple of them inside buildings and such, and then I started to hear one of them begin to honk. I start panicking and hear some techno background music and look into the sky to see a star weird from Star Wars all the way in the sky. I start running to try and get into a building, and I see that it's getting closer and closer. And then the dream ends when I make it inside a building with the star weird like 100 feet away. I guess I was in the Star Wars at that point. And I think that there's like two more that are kind of interesting in my list. One was had a dream where Cthulhu took over the world, but it was like a very low res octopus thing with mile long tentacles. I was in the car with my sister and I kept saying something like only 70 people could stop this from happening, and we almost got hit by a tentacle. And then randomly cut to a pixel art thing of a girl throwing stuff out her window, and then back to actual life where we were in this room. The girl gave us a list of stuff we needed to stop Cthulhu, and the dream ended there. And then finally, this one doesn't really make any sense, but had a dream where I was inside of my house and there was a bear that was outside. I remember shutting all the doors and watching it for a bit. Then it saw me, so I ran quickly upstairs and thought I was safe. Saw the bear open the sliding door and go at me. Then the dream ended and I woke up. After the bear dream, I fell back asleep and was in another world where they were trying to stop the air from turning red. But it eventually did anyway, and I remember it being a big problem. Then it cut to me fighting this really big and fat giant in a Dark Souls type way. And then the dream ended when he was about to do a big move. So if anyone wants to explain to me what any of these dreams mean in any capacity, I would love to hear, your analysis of this, because like I have legitimately no idea what any of these mean. I don't know why I dreamt them or what happened in my mind like 3 or 4 years ago. But yeah, I just wanted to give a highlight. I kind of was reminded of this list, and I kind of was surprised that I still had it on my phone, but there are the inner machinations of my mind. Some would say in the great words of Patrick Starr, the inner machinations of my mind are an enigma. And I don't know why I have all these weird dreams alongside just like very mundane tasks of like emailing people, like just cooking. Really don't know what's going on in the old noggin of mine, but I wanted to share my tomfoolery in my brain. So that's really all I got for today. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.